franchises do whatever it takes. You think a team like New York, with all the connections they have, with all the sponsorship deals they have, you think they're not going to do whatever it takes to bring in the players they want? Yeah, on paper we'll give you a smaller contract, but don't worry about it. We're going to hook you up over here. Don't worry about it. We're going to send you a brown paper.
Do whatever it takes. That's the mantra. And right now, the New York Liberty are proving it better than anyone else in the WNBA. They just signed Satosa Bali to a multi-year deal, adding her to a roster that already includes Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquel Jones. On paper, this looks impossible. The salary cap exists for a reason. So how exactly are they pulling this off?
Paper bag full of cash over there. Don't worry about it at all. You need some free food. Don't even worry about it. We have connections over here, and we're going to utilize those connections. The size are billionaires. They know what they're doing. The New York Liberty picked up Satosa Bali in free agency, and fans are demanding them. They need to be investigated.
Paper bags full of cash, sponsorship deals that conveniently land with players who take team-friendly contracts, free meals, free housing, connections that turn a smaller contract into a bigger payday through outside channels. That's the accusation flying around WNBA social media right now. And whether it's happening exactly like that or not, the core question remains valid. The Liberty lost Betnijah Hamilton and Nyara Sabali in the expansion draft. They're bringing back Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquel Jones, and now they've added Satosa Bali, one of the league's premier two-way players. The math just doesn't seem to add up.
Diggins, Chicago Sky, Skylar Diggins, Rakea Jackson. That trade goes through. Azura Stevens, Courtney Vandersloot, maybe a Flau'jae Johnson. Okay, Chicago. Indiana Fever picked up their backup point guard. All right. Stephanie White, reunited with an old friend. Reunited, it feels so good.
Here's what makes this particularly interesting. The
Indiana Fever are sitting there with Caitlin Clark on a rookie contract worth roughly $500,000 this season. Kelsey Mitchell just signed a Supermax extension. Between those two players alone, Indiana has about $1.9 million tied up. That's essentially two max-level salaries when you average them out. So, the argument that Kelsey's Supermax prevents Indiana from competing in free agency doesn't really hold up. The Liberty have Breanna Stewart making over $500,000. They have similar cap constraints, yet somehow, New York is out here building a super team while Indiana signed Monique Billings and Temi Fagmanley-Harris.
Satosa Bali has agreed to sign a multi-year deal to join the New York Liberty. Agent Zach Miller of WNBA Basketball tells me Alexa Filippo and Kendra Andrews. Sabali departs after leading the Phoenix Mercury to the 2025 WNBA Finals. She hardly led them there, but she was on the team. Satosa Bali, ring chasing like Kevin Durant. Oh, it's not working out for me in Dallas. I'll go to Phoenix. Oh, this isn't really working out how I thought it was going to work.
Let's talk about what actually happened in this free agency period. The New York Liberty added Satosa Bali, a player who just led the Phoenix Mercury to the 2025 WNBA Finals. Well, led might be generous, but she was there and she was productive. She's a legitimate two-way forward who can defend multiple positions and create her own shot. That's a massive addition to a team that already won the championship last season. Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky landed Skylar Diggins-Smith and pulled off trades for Camila Cardoso and Michaela Onyenworth. They're making moves. They're being aggressive.
But don't worry, we got Monique Billings. Oh, don't worry. Don't you worry. Yeah, Liberty fans, yeah, they're puffing their chest out. Winning franchises do whatever it takes. Utilize your connections and sponsorships and get the players you want. Yeah. And I see a lot of chatter out there. You know, this is because Kelsey Mitchell took the Supermax.
And there's Indiana. The Fever brought back their backup point guard. Stephanie White reunited with an old friend from Connecticut. First year, it was DeWanna Bonner. Second year, it's Temi Fagmanley-Harris. The pattern is clear. White is bringing in players who already know her system. Players who ran her offense in Connecticut. That would be fine if the offense were good. But Fever fans spent all of last season complaining about how slow and predictable Stephanie White's offensive sets were. So, the solution is to bring in another player who knows that same slow offense. That's the plan?
Where's Alana Smith? Where is Alana Smith? If you're telling me Ty and Monique Billings are backups, cool. What else? Stephanie White came last year, brought leftovers from Connecticut. Woohoo! Oh, it was DeWanna Bonner. Stephanie White, second year, brings more leftovers from Connecticut. Woohoo! It's Ty Harris.
Here's where the frustration comes from. This was supposed to be the biggest free agency period in WNBA history. Expansion created movement. Championship windows opened and closed. Teams had cap space and the motivation to make real splashes. The Liberty went out and got Satu Sabali. The Sky rebuilt their entire roster around Angel Reese. And Indiana, a team with the biggest star in women's basketball. A team that just had the highest rated season in league history, added a backup point guard and a backup power forward. Monique Billings is a solid player. Timmy Fagbenle-Harris can contribute. But are these the moves that signal championship ambition? Are these the acquisitions that make the Las Vegas Aces nervous? Because right now, Vegas still has Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young. New York just added Sabali to their championship core. And Indiana is running it back with essentially the same roster, hoping internal development and health will be enough.
Am I missing something? Tell me what I'm missing in the comment section, please. What am I missing? We don't like Stephanie's offense, so what does Stephanie do? Oh, I'm just going to get somebody that knows my offense. Oh! Yay! Huh? Folks, this is how you know last year traumatized us. This is how you know last year was a traumatizing experience. Again, Ty Harris, I'm sorry. This isn't aimed at you. Monique, I'm sorry, Monique.
Fever fans remained confused all season long. And now that same confusion is back. The Alia Boston question looms over everything. Where's the Alia Boston signing? If Monique Billings and Temi Fagbenle-Harris are backups, great, but what else? That's the question Fever fans keep asking. What else is coming? Because if this is it, if the front office looked at last season's roster construction issues and decided the solution was continuity plus 2 role players, that's a problem. Last season traumatized Fever fans. The DeWanna Bonner experiment didn't work. Natasha Howard couldn't stay healthy. The spacing issues never got resolved. And the defensive rotations remained confused all season long.
The Superbacks, I don't care. Caitlin Clark's making $500,000. Let's just say between Kelsey and Caitlin, they're making $1.9 million between the two of them. That's like having 2 number 1 players on your team, 1A and 1B, 1A and 2A. However, I'm not going to get into that. Each making $900,000 each. There's your pay cut right there.
Now, the response to that trauma is Temi Fagbenle-Harris and Monique Billings. Fans are doing cartwheels over these signings because last year set the bar so low that any competent WNBA level player feels like a massive upgrade. That's not a healthy place for a franchise to be. When your fan base is celebrating backup level acquisitions, just because they're relieved you didn't sign another washed veteran, something clearly went wrong in the process. The Gabby Williams pipe dream is dead. It was never entirely realistic, but it represented hope that Indiana would use its massive platform, unprecedented media attention, and connection to the biggest star in women's basketball to land a premier international free agent. Instead, Williams is probably staying overseas, and Indiana is bringing back Temi Fagbenle while hoping to retain their existing core. Now let's address the elephant in the room. How is the Liberty doing this? How is any team in a capped league able to consistently stack all-star talent while other franchises struggle to add even one impact player? The accusation is that New York's ownership, the Chai family, usses its connections and resources to provide off-court compensation that doesn't count against the cap. Sponsorship deals with companies the Chais own or are connected to, endorsement opportunities that conveniently appear for players who sign team-friendly contracts, housing arrangements, appearance fees, speaking engagements, all the creative accounting that turns a league minimum deal into a comfortable living.